These are the college football playoff rankings. You see them: Tennessee, Georgia, 1-3, Ohio State sitting there in the middle. So this is obviously a huge game today. These are the first rankings. They're going to change. Got a couple of top 10 matchups today. Everybody's I had trouble getting my umbrella working. Fortunately, it's let up a little bit.
I'm up here with an umbrella now.
How about that?
Boy, you can really tell on your shoulders here. How
about that? Nice and wet, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with this game today. As it pertains to the college football playoff rankings, Tennessee has the win over Alabama on its resume. So who has the higher stakes in the game today, Georgia and Tennessee?
I think Georgia does. Don't you guys? I mean, just a picture, if Georgia were to lose this game and Tennessee's machine just keeps growing and growing, I don't know how Georgia would get back into this discussion if they were to lose at home today.
They don't have a lot left on their schedule.
I think they're out.
And
they wouldn't even get to Atlanta.
Here's the only way I think they would possibly be in: if it was a barn burner, a heck of a game, and you go.
Even then,
it'd still be tough. But and then if Tennessee went and beat Alabama again and knocks Alabama out, maybe. But 100%, Tennessee, if they lose, they're still very much in the playoff.
For sure.
Very much.
First rankings, Desmond. Who got too much credit from the committee?
I thought Clemson did. To put Clemson over Michigan and over TCU, I thought was a pretty strong statement by the committee. I mean, you look at Clemson, they've been a team that we've been kind of on the fence about the whole season because DJ Uiagalelei, he just hasn't been a consistently great performer. Played against Syracuse, he got benched, brought in Cade Klubnik. So I think Clemson's a team.
Yeah, and I think to echo your point there, whenever you look at the top teams, let's look at the quarterbacks. You know, Hendon Hooker, Heisman candidate, about to go do his thing. You talk about Stetson here. He's 25 years old, the same age as Lamar Jackson, has already won a natty. You talk about Ohio State. They got a dog in Stroud. So I think Clemson, the reason why everybody's thinking they were maybe valued too high is now Dabo has won. I think it's a quarterback conversation. If they move to that Cade guy, and I'm not calling for anybody's job, there's a young guy, Cade Klubnik, that might take them to the next level, that maybe it'll warrant it at the end of the season. But a lot of question marks around that Clemson at 4 ranking.
You know, TCU was one spot behind a one-loss team in Alabama. So does TCU have to be perfect or undefeated to get in the college football playoff?
I thought that was the most disrespectful thing because it ain't like TCU doesn't have a good strength and record and ain't beating good teams. Like, to put them already behind a one-loss team and an Alabama team that has struggled throughout the season. So, I think they've got a lot of work to do. I think their defense, according to the committee, their defense has to get up par with their offense. I know they believe in their offense. We all believe in their offense. I think they got to show more balance for their team, and then they can climb up the rankings.
If they just keep winning football games, things are going to happen in front of them
today.
And they're just going to keep climbing up and up. And I think the committee felt enough noise and enough pushback about the fact that they were down at 7 despite being undefeated. They win games. I think TCU is the epitome of a team that's reacting. What's going on? And eventually it would work itself out if they keep winning.
Now, we talked a little bit about what would happen in the Georgia-Tennessee game today. And, of course, Alabama sitting out there, and then the potential for a 2-loss LSU being the SEC champion. So I'm going to set the over-under at 1.5 SEC teams in the playoff. Pat, you going over or under 1.5 in the CFP from the SEC?
New guy. We're in Athens now. Let's give that answer. I don't know. For me, it's so fascinating because Georgia loses, they're out. Bama loses, they're going to be out of the conversation. TCU keeps winning, they're good. Ohio State and Michigan play each other the last week of the season. What will that do? Is that going to knock somebody out of the entire top 10? I'm going to pick over just because humans are the ones making the decision or who are in the college football playoff. And that's why I'm a believer as a fan looking from the outside in. TCU has a long road. Even if they go undefeated, I think there's going to be conversations because of the social clout that SEC teams have with how damn good they have been over the last 10
I tell you what, you guys do a great job on Tuesday nights. I enjoyed it, you know. And it showed us the you got Joey. Joey's handling. Joey's great. To me, the committee showed us how much they value the SEC. When you got Alabama over TCU with the one loss, I think that they're going to be the conference that may get 2. So I would go over.
If you're saying over?
Over. You've got 5 teams in the top 11. I mean, if you do the math, but there's a good chance. Yes, I'm going over. I think
nobody's going to be happy about it, though.
I think there'll be 2 teams in.
Outside the SEC.
I guess I'm looking at TCU and potentially Clemson is winning. I think the Big Ten champ, the SEC champ, and potentially Clemson and TCU could be there. I'd say under. I think 1 will come from the SEC.
Okay, Herbie.
All right, so give me a team outside the top 10 that you think can make a run and actually get in.
Can they put up the rankings?
Des got it. Des got it.
What's your name?
What's your name?
I think LSU, if they beat Alabama,
outside the top 10.
Outside
Ole Miss,
the top 10. UCLA is at 12. They could be a potential team.
There ain't a lot, I don't think.
No, they can get to the Pac-12.
When are we getting to 12 teams?
Well, I'm going to show you that.
24
Couple years,
maybe.
a couple years maybe is the
24.
hope.
Let's get it.
You had a good one Tuesday night.
Illinois?
Illinois.
I think Illinois's got everything in front of them. I mean, they lost early, a bad loss, but I think they found themselves to play great defense. If they beat Michigan the last week of before the big showdown with Ohio State and Michigan, and they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, Illinois is in the playoffs.
I think so. I think with the only loss being in the first week of the season against Indiana, game they should have won. Now, Pat, you asked about the 12-team bracket, hoping to get there in a couple of years. Now, let's just say, for the sake of giving you this visual, that the rankings
awesome
this week.
Do this year.
If the season final rankings were this is what it would look like. Remember, the 4 highest-ranked conference champions get the bye, so that means Georgia would be the top at-large seed.
Look at the bottom left matchup, which we're going to actually see tonight.
All right, Alabama and LSU.
That's pretty amazing.
And note
How is TCU at 4?
No, because there would be it's the what I just said,
champion.
the 4th highest ranked conference champion.
Oh, okay.
Good
And also,
Good catch, Dennis. Good question.
you get Tulane in there because they are one of the 6 highest ranked conference champions.
Got you.
So this makes too much sense, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.